Hello, today we're going to be talking about Spaniards reaching the Americas, but I want to do a real quick recap of what we read last time. So over here in Europe, there were people that wanted access to spices and stuff that were over in this part of Asia, China, India, things like that. So they wanted spices, silk, jewels, and other things like that. So they had been trying to find a way to go around Africa to get up to Asia. And they thought there had to be a faster way to do it. So they wanted to find a faster way to get from Europe to Asia. So then you read about starting with Spain really wanted to find a way. Same with Portugal. They were two powers because back then, if you were closer to water, you had more power as a country. So if you look on this map, Spain is right here, and then Portugal is right next to it. So they are right on the Atlantic Ocean. And that gave them a lot of power because they had ships that they could go travel across the world on. So they did that. So they sent expeditions to search for faster routes, to search for different areas to take over. And these were called expeditions. An expedition is just a journey you're making for a specific purpose, whether it's just to explore an area or maybe you want to take over an area. So a sailor from Italy, there's one in here, it looks like a boot, named Christopher Columbus, had an idea. He wanted to lead an expedition to the Indies. Now, when we're talking about the Indies, we're talking about this area. It's right above my picture here. This is the Indies. He wanted to lead an expedition there, but he had an idea. Instead of he said going south around Africa, let's head west. And remember, they had no idea that North or South America were here. They thought, okay, here we can sail from Europe and we go west. Eventually we run into the Indies over here. They didn't know that North America was there. So he was looking for people to try to pay for his expedition. Portugal's king said no. France and England's leaders said no. But he finally had success when he went to Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand of Spain and said, will you help me pay for this expedition? And they did. So Columbus took his three ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, on this journey heading west to see if he could find a faster way to the Indies. So in the summer of 1492, he sailed across the Atlantic Ocean and he landed, as you can see right here, his first voyage, this blue one. He landed in what eventually would be called the West Indies. And he claimed that land for Spain. And he met some people there called the Tano, which he had called Indios, which is Spanish for Indians. So Columbus arrived, and you can see there, he would make several different voyages back to the West Indies here, so those islands just south of what is now the United States. The first meeting that he had with the Tano was very friendly. They shared traded some gifts back and forth. And then eventually, where Columbus found Spain would set up a colony. The term colony is something we're going to be hearing a lot this year. A colony, as you can see right here, is a settlement far from the country that rules it. So they're setting up a Spanish colony. So Spain, even though Spain is over here, they're setting up land in these islands over here, claiming it for Spain, meaning those pieces of land now belong to Spain. And the people that live in those colonies have to follow the laws of Spain. So that is what a colony is, a settlement from a different country outside of their country, in a different part of the world. But the thing is, with Columbus, he thought he had made it over here to the East Indies, where he was aiming for. Even to his dying day, he thought he had arrived where he wanted to. He didn't realize that he had rediscovered a whole new continent. Now remember, the Vikings were up in here first. They're the first Europeans here before Columbus. But people had kind of forgotten about them at that time. So then Columbus, when he discovered this new land, more Europeans are going to now want to start coming over to get pieces of the land for themselves. So then here, this page just talks about some of the things that were from the Americas that Columbus found and brought back to Europe. And there are other things that were from Europe that were brought to the Americas. So when it says from the Americas, these are things that people in Europe had never seen before until the Spanish started bringing them back. And over here, these things that says to the Americas, that's stuff that went from Europe, was introduced in Americas that were never here before. Another thing that was traded, unfortunately, was disease. The Europeans brought with them diseases that the Native Americans had no way of fighting. Their immune systems didn't know the diseases or anything like that. So by 1600, so a little over 100 years after Columbus was first here, millions of Native Americans across the United States and North and South America had died from these diseases brought over from Europe. So because of Columbus's discovery here, many, many more Europeans are going to come over and try to claim land. And the three main countries that are going to be doing that are Spain, right here, France, and the United Kingdom. At the time was just England. And we'll learn more about those in the next few lessons. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.